Yo, what up? What up, dudes? Got Mr. Beast in the background. This is gonna be a rambly video. I have a feeling I'm actually gonna be making and uploading videos during this 108, just rambling about stuff. And today, I'm gonna talk about let me see if I remember the number exactly, my 3,884 year plan. So, I was journaling. I was journaling this morning. So first off, maybe you've seen I've been kind of living and planning in these 108-day cycles, right? So I'll make a plan for the cycle. I'll do it. I'll reflect on the 108 days, and then I plan and I do it again. And that really came from kind of realizing that, like, making yearly goals, like, a year is just way too much time. Like, let's say you want to lose weight, you want to start exercising, you want to quit smoking, whatever, you want to get a new job, you want to learn a language, whatever it is you might want to do, start a business, like a 1 year plan. You don't need 1 year for that. For a lot of these things, you don't even need 108 days for it. But 108 days is a nice chunk of time, which is pretty long. Like, if you track something for 108 days, you'll find out how long it is. Everybody who joins me, I tell them, like, yo, it's going to be a long time. And they do it, and they're like, Jesus Christ, that was a long time. And I'm like, yeah, 108 days is a long time. So it's like long enough to feel long, but also short enough so you're not wasting too much time. Like, wasting time could be like my last 108, where I like fell off like not even a third of the way through, and I never reset. So if something like that happens, at least you know you're going to reset shortly. Anyhow, so I'm doing these 108-day cycles, and I want to do 108 of those. So every year, 3 cycles fits into a year. So every year you do 3 cycles. So in 36 years, I will have completed 108 cycles. And in 36 years, I will be, well, this is, like, now it's 33 years or something. Anyway, I'll be like 70 something. I'll be 70 something when the 108 day 108s, when that's done, I'll be 70 something. Okay, and I plan on making videos throughout all this and building my little community and all this, and every year, every 108 days, just boop, 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 doing this thing. And actually, before, I don't need to pull it up, before I get to Mr. Beast, like, it's fun having, so, if I get into the philosophy of the whole, I've been calling it Flow to Your Dream. I still like that name. Like, kind of the philosophy behind this thing is, being able to come to the realization that goals, big or small, I don't want to say they're an illusion, but they're an illusion in that they don't exist today, right? Like, they don't exist right now. So whatever it is you might want, better, you want to weigh less, better health, you want more money, you want to make more money, you want to have more money saved, you want a family, you want kids, you want a girlfriend, you want to be healthy, all these things, whatever might be in your head, and you set these as goals, it's fiction compared to what exists today, right now, this second, you watching and looking around your house or your car or wherever you are. Hopefully you're not in the car. Is that's reality. And these goals, and even the present, we won't get into. We'll call the present reality. And these goals are fiction. They're just something that you see in the future. And the idea with this, what my personal philosophy and system is, so you set these goals. It's good to set goals. It's good. Like, that's fine. I'm not hating on goals. But the idea is to make it so you're enjoying the process of getting there, because the process is what you experience. You don't experience the goal. You don't experience a million subscribers. You don't experience $1 million. You don't experience, well, eventually you experience a girlfriend. But when you don't have a girlfriend, you're not experiencing the girlfriend. If you're overweight, you're not experiencing being underweight. What you're experiencing is the present. And the idea is to set these goals as a place to go, but then master the art of enjoying what's happening like right now, today. So that's basically the idea. So that's the idea when you set a goal for the 108 days. So boom, you set something for 108 days, and now you're experiencing the everyday. You're trying to enjoy the everyday. Awesome. But then you can still make 1 year goals, 5 year goals, or 36-year goals that fit within all of these. Like all these different timelines are good for different kinds of goals. For example, if you have 0 subscribers now and you want 1 million subscribers, that goal, doing it in 108 days, that could be a goal, but that you probably won't experience the success you're looking for in 108 days. But you might experience it in a year, like you might experience it in 10 years, whatever it is. I'm going not going all over the place. I'm spending too much time on this. Anyway, the point is you have a goal. That's fine. It's an illusion. How do you enjoy the process? Because enjoying the process is ultimately what will get you there. Mr. Beast is a good example of that. Like, it's funny. I pulled up his Wikipedia, and he uploaded his first video in 2012. Like, I think he would have been 8 when I uploaded the Xbox video. Mr. Beast was 8 years old. But he's a good example of like being really committed to his goal was 1 million subscribers. Now he has other goals, but like committed to that process. And I believe he was enjoying that process. That's not even why I have Mr. Beast on the screen. Man, I'm taking a long time to get to my point. But so here it is. So I have on my website this 36-year goal, this idea of having 108 million people doing the 108 style life and philosophy and system. 108 million people, that's a lot of people. Like some religions don't have 108 million people. So that's like a big goal. And what I wanted to say is like kind of, it's not that our minds are warped, but we live in this new world that didn't exist, 20 years ago. Like Mr. Beast couldn't be Mr. Beast 20 years ago. If he was born in 1990, and then he turned, I think he's 22 now, and he turned 22 in 2002. There's no YouTube. There's really no means of like going viral and building. Like all this stuff is like totally new. And it's crazy to see what a Mr. Beast does, or it's crazy to see what a Google did, or an Amazon. These are all like relatively young companies when you look at them compared to like Ford or something. And they got that big, in the course of a single lifetime, right? And that's crazy. Like in a single, a lifetime, let's call it 80 years. We call it 108 years. Most people don't live that long, but whatever. My grandma lived to be 100. These things happen in a single lifetime. Now, what gets crazy, and I guess we could use Elon Musk as an example of someone who's thinking lifetimes out. If you're thinking about like terraforming Mars, that's not a single lifetime, exercise. That's multiple, that's generational, So what happened, just today, while I'm thinking about like my 3,884 years, that's how long it would take to do 108 cycles. So a single 108, like the full cycle I'm going to do is 36 years, 36 times. If I count that as one cycle, that would be the final cycle would happen in 3,884 years. So what's crazy, and I'm still, as I had this thought before, but I thought about it more today. What's crazy to try to wrap your head around is if you look at like someone like Mr. Beast or a company like Amazon or Google, and how large these enterprises have gotten in a really short amount of time. If you extend that timeline, not just 10, 20, or 30 or 50 years, if you extend it 1,000 years, that's great. Like how big, or how big can something get? And then that's where like it's kind of interesting that I think with things like a company or a YouTube channel. Mr. Beast is interesting because he's expanding beyond just Mr. Beast. He's like cultivating other creators. Like Mr. Beast Burger launched not that long ago, where he's a very cool concept where he's got an app and you can order this stuff on Uber or whatever, or through his app, and he partners with restaurants across the US and probably eventually across the globe. And the restaurants make his burger, and that's it. So he has maybe one physical location, but he's able to, I think he's got 600 locations now. But regardless, trying to comprehend, multi-generational, I haven't, like I was going to title this video my 3,884 year plan, but I haven't said what that is. Well, going back to here, let me throw up another. Let me switch the images up. Boom. Let me switch that up. So if I just like real quickly, like what is the plan? Like the idea is to create, a system, a philosophy, a way of life, and a big collective of people that are basically helping each other grow and live and everything, and have a nice existence. But as right now, let's say if we look at how does it exist today? Right now, it's a little Facebook group. I think there's 14 people in it now. They're checking in. For example, one person who did it last 108 just contacted me right before I shot this video and wants me to help her out, staying focused on. She's trying to quit alcohol, and that's hard, and she wants someone to talk to. And anyway, just creating these supportive networks, at a small scale, but then when it scales up and there's more people involved, you can do really, really cool stuff. Like at a certain size, the group could have its own kind of insurance, right? Like this is like interesting stuff where like churches are, big enough to kind of create their own insurance. They don't do that. You could create, intentional communities that are, like maybe, small to large, like an intentional community. Like we live in a apartment block. This apartment block could just be filled with people, living the 108 philosophical lifestyle together. Like, like I got these like big visions of that. And what hit me is that I don't need to, especially if I'm thinking in 3,884 year timeline, I don't have to do it all in this lifetime, right? Like all what my goal then in this lifetime, in this 36 years, will be, can I create enough momentum where where it like the vision of like communities spread across the globe, like what's in my mind, you pull up the 108 app or whatever it is, and you want to travel to, well, this is Australia, Aboriginal Australia. You want to go to Australia, you want to go to Africa, you want to go to Europe, you want to go to North America, you want to go to South America, wherever you want to go, you land and like your people are there. They're just there. Like you land and you got a place to stay, you got work to do, you got community, you got people to kick it with. Just an international global network of people that share the same kind of values and philosophy. And what's cool, if I pull out the Tao Te Ching, like what's cool about, I think about the philosophy that I'm putting together, it doesn't hinge on a belief or disbelief in God. It doesn't hinge on any specific kind of lifestyle. It's very fluid. Like if we look in the group, there's people in there that believe in God. There's people in there that don't believe in God. But it hinges on just, everybody living well now and doing better, right? Like right now it's focused on an individual level, but then it can grow to be much more collective. Like if I'm telling you my vision of just communities, physical communities where we have farms, we make our own clothing, we have our own businesses, and when I say we, it's like collectively owned. Like my idea is and it's somewhat utopian, but not really, you can really create a collective of people that own a variety of businesses, and they own them collectively, and that money is just reinvested in business, reinvested in the people in the collective, and it's not about buying fancy cars or whatever. It's about maybe building libraries, whatever, man. This is long enough video. Anyway, the reason I pulled up Aboriginals when I was Aboriginal Australians, when I was trying to see like what are the longest lasting civilizations, cultures, religions, like they topped the charts at like 50,000 years that they've had a like a unified kind of like system, way of life, religion, 50,000 years. So like what I'm talking about exists, and it exists pre-internet and technology and all this stuff. And I just know in my heart of hearts that, using technology, some really cool stuff can happen. And if I throw just some random thoughts at the end here, another piece of having a 3,884 year vision, and you're working for yourself now, your family and your friends now, but you're also thinking about the future, and like in a real, like if you really soak this in and you take it in, when we start talking about climate change and all this stuff, things are probably going to get pretty scary. I don't know if it's 20 years out, 50 years out, 100 years out, 200 years out, but things are probably going to get pretty scary when it comes to the environment. Just in that, from what I understand, like even if we somehow just everything was sun powered and everything, now we've damaged the planet so bad that like things are going to keep getting worse regardless of what we do. And that's where, in this, modern capitalistic world and worldview that we all live in, you can just function as an individual and not worry about the future, not worry about other people, whatever, just, but absolutely the future we're moving into, it's gonna, you're gonna want to have your people, people. Anyway, long rambly video. I'll probably do more of these about just whatever's on my mind every now and then. I was gonna make my my plan for this 108. I was gonna make my plan video, but I decided against it and did this instead. But yeah, like this is just a rambly video. I'll probably make videos like on a totally different subject. Red Dead Redemption 2, man, that was a good game. Also, fun fact, the most expensive game ever made. Like when I was playing it, I was like, dude, this is probably the most expensive game ever made. And when I looked it up, that was true. Anyhow, love you guys. Peace. Hope you're doing well. That's it. Later.